So one of the first few things that the client told us when we took on this project was that they wanted their entryway to have a big, bold impression on visitors. Minimalism isn't just about using as little materials as possible. Minimalism is about having every little choice and every little detail having a big impact. Hi, I'm Jordan from Leecon. For this project, the customer really liked the color grey. So to me personally, I believe that creativity really comes around when we have got constraints. We went for a bold monochrome theme. We tried to have a design that was classic and timeless, yet catches the imagination. So for this project, we use a variety of techniques to try and create texture even in a monochrome space. So we have some open shelving. Later in the entryway, you'll see some fluted panels, and then we have some cabinetry with shadow gaps to create a little bit of contrast and a little bit of drama against that grey backdrop. When we think about an entryway, you can think of it as the overture or the prologue to the rest of the house. It's like the opening scene of a movie, right? When you open the door, the first thing that's going to hit you is this big textured feature wall, and that's going to create that wow factor for the client's visitors, and they're going to think, what's next? It gives you a big punch when you come in, but also it introduces the themes that we will see deployed throughout the rest of the house later on. So in terms of smart design solution, one thing that we did was to hide away the bomb shelter so that we could focus the entryway on that perspective coming into the living room. A lot of customers, when they do a bomb shelter box up, they like to make it with one big swing door. But in this case, we actually broke it up into two smaller doors. Personally, I found that the ergonomics was better, and we ensure that we don't need to keep a big area in front of that door clear all of the time. The other design idea that we had for this home was the deployment of a big glass door with a lattice design. So the client cooks often. They wanted to have a kitchen that was separated from the main living area, but at the same time they also wanted to retain that connection. So we used a lattice design glass door so that we were able to retain the visual connection. You can look over to the kitchen and see somebody from the living room and vice versa, while at the same time, sharing the light. We also have the glass as a barrier. So one neat thing about this system is that for the glass doors, we managed to mount them from the ceiling. So the doors are actually completely suspended from the ceiling. And if you look at the floor between the kitchen and the entryway, it's actually just a nice tile-to-tile transition. There isn't a rail to collect dust or to trip up your kids and pets. So the other design decision that I thought was pretty neat was that we set the kitchen island height just right. I'm not going to tell you the measurement, so that it's exactly right just for cutting and being used as a worktop, while at the same time the height is appropriate for the user to sit down and have dinner. For this customer, they wanted to have a lot of drawers in the house. So one of the interesting challenges that we had here was, how can we pack as many drawers as we can into the space, and thinking about the right number and the right size of the drawers, and we work to put as many of them as we can into the house. So the good thing about drawers is that even though you sacrifice a little bit of absolute capacity because the drawer rails and the box itself takes up space, it is a lot more accessible as a form of storage, because once you pull that drawer out, you can look down and see everything that's inside the drawer at one go. As for the LED lights in the kitchen, there was a little bit of a challenge in that we were not building the kitchen cabinets against a wall that was perfectly straight and level. So when we did the LED lights, we decided to run the LED as one straight line across the back of the kitchen cabinet. Rather than following the wall, it is setting its own line. But we didn't regret this decision. We thought that in terms of the evenness of the light and the silhouette they created, the execution came out very nicely. Pro tip: design your home around the way that you live now. Don't try to design the home for the lifestyle that you want. A lot of people try this out and it doesn't really work. So you have to work around the habits that you already have and try to make the current pattern or the sequence of your daily life. You have to fit the renovation to that sequence, not the other way around. Here at Leecon, we don't design for our portfolio first. Of course, aesthetics are always going to be a consideration, but we really do try to put as much detailed consideration as we can into how the end user is going to live in and interact with this space, which I think is the unique thing that we bring to the table. If a client comes and he talks to me, they will be talking to me throughout. So if you guys want a home that is both modern, functional and aesthetic, you call Leecon, because we nail it every time.